What's going on, everybody? Troy Rawlings here. Happy 2023. And baby, on stands now the new January, February issue of Sheen magazine. Get your copy now. I want you to get your copy now also because I'm so excited about a new article series I have in the book called Cigars, Sips, and Socials. Cigars, Sips, and Socials. We're talking about the new Black Business Network. But is it really new? Is it really new? Or am I just getting old? They'll be on stands until February 28th, my birthday. But the dope thing about this article is that it's a series. So you got to get this magazine and then get the next one and then get the next one. It's a series. You understand what I'm saying? A series. You get me? Page 60. Cigars, Sips, and Socials, baby. And it starts off with the brothers from Drove Stogies, Ian Farquharson, Pamela Miles, and much, much more to come. So get your copy today. Today. Take a picture of you picking up your magazine or do a video of you picking up your magazine from your favorite magazine stand. Tag me at Troy Rawlings at Sheen Magazine and I'll make sure I repost and blast it out for you. Great way to get some promotion for you and your business as well. The January-February 2023 issue of Sheen Magazine is out now. Be sure to go to your favorite magazine stand and pick up your copy. This beautiful double cover issue. And check out the new article by Troy L. Rawlings, Cigars, Sips, and Socials. Cigars, Sips, and Socials features trend-setting entrepreneurs in the adult beverage and cigar industry. Ian Farquharson, the owner of K7 Island Rum Punch and CROSSWYNN Cigars. JAKIM Stewart and Ryan Taylor, proprietors of Drove Stogies. And Pam Miles, owner of Miles Select Vodka and Jerome Renee Cigars. Fierce and fabulous, the ultimate in beauty. Pick up your copy of Sheen Magazine. Get your copy today. What's going on, everybody? Troy Rawlings here. Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the and Sheen Talk Live. Sheen Talk Live. We're doing a special, but well, let me go back a little bit. This brother is one of my business partners, friend of mine, amazing entrepreneur, vet. I'm not gonna do it right, so I don't even know I don't know the proper way to do it. Because you mess up and they be like, dude, what was that? I'm like,
it's all good.
He is a retired Marine.
Yeah.
Forces and went into entrepreneurism on a number of fronts. And we have an amazing piece in Sheen Magazine coming up. So we're going to talk to him about some stuff, but we're probably going to make this a two-part. We were trying to get on. We had some technical difficulties. We're probably going to make this a two-part, and you'll see Ian Farquharson around right now. Give some props to my brother, Ian Farquharson. How are you, brother?
All right. Pretty good. How are you, Troy? Thank you for taking the time out today to meet with me. You're right. We've been having some technical difficulties, but through it all, we just continue to adapt, overcome, and keep moving, and keep pushing until we get it right.
That's part of your MO, though. That's part of your MO. That's part of your modus operandi.
Yeah.
but let's go back. Let's go all the way back. Where are you originally from?
I was born in Kingston, Jamaica, capital of Jamaica. Big up Jamaica. Very proud Jamaican. Very large family, immigrated to the United States in 1977, Hartford, Connecticut, to be specific. And that's where most of my family resides. And that's where I went to school, elementary school, high school, graduated from Windsor High, Windsor, Connecticut. Salute to the Windsor Warriors. School's still open and thriving. So I'm an alumni of Windsor High. Graduated in 1989. Went into the Marine Corps from there and did many years in the Marine Corps. Loved every minute of it. Best decision that I could have made was join the Marine Corps to help me grow and become a real man.
Yeah, I try to keep folks like yourself around me, so it keeps me regimented. You're Troy.
Yeah, we're very prompt people. We believe in being on time and being where we're supposed to be, and but also we are very protective people. We like to, you know, protect those who can't protect themselves. So that's one of my things that I pride myself on is, you know, looking out for everybody else, make sure they're safe and happy.
Yeah. So from Kingston, which I have so much love for Jamaica. I'm not from Jamaica, but I just went to Jamaica for the fourth time. I told everybody, and you included, next time I go, I got to go mainland. So I want to go with the round the way folks so I can find out where the real jerk is and the real down home, the beach near the house, or you know, just get around the people. Um, the vibe in Jamaica is different. Anyone that knows, if you don't know the history of Jamaica, uh, there are people that weren't going to be oppressed and pretty much wiped out any of the oppressors that tried to come in. So if you ever wonder why Jamaicans are proud, that's one. But if you ever wonder why they seem like they pretty relaxed, don't sleep.
Yeah.
This is our land. And when you come over there, when you come to Jamaica, first they welcome home. I was like, this do feel like home. Why does it feel so much like home? It's like, because this is our home. We made it our home. You're gonna come in here disrupting our home. And definitely not our peace. You cannot go to Jamaica acting like you got an attitude. And
Yeah.
you that American rush thing don't work there. It's like, calm down, man.
Yeah.
Good, you're home. We good. But but yeah, so um let's jump a little bit. We met, and this is a part of the thing. We met through a sister named Trina Lawson. I met Trina Lawson at LA Premier Cigar Lounge here in Los Angeles. It kind of did something to me to realize that there's a whole nother Black business network in general, but Black business network especially in some of these main cities. Now we hear a lot about Atlanta, but definitely Los Angeles, the nucleus. I've met some phenomenal people. We've had most of our meetings down there since then. And they drove Stogies. When did you first? We talk about the cigars, and then we'll talk about K7. When did you first get into the cigar culture, smoking a cigar? When did you find out that this is something that calmed you or that you were into?
Well, I first got into smoke cigars while I was in the military in Saudi Arabia. I actually met one of the Saudi royal family over there, and he and I, you know, met and we started, you know, vibing together. And he had a passion for cigars. He had a room full of cigars that he introduced me to, and he asked me if I ever smoked a cigar, and I said no. And so he, you know, showed me the
Now, how
room.
old were you? How old were you at this time?
I was probably around 21, 22,
Okay.
and never smoked a cigar in my life. Saw him a lot. I remember Telly Savalas having a cigar.
Who loves you,
Um,
baby?
I remember a lot of black actors, Richard Roundtree and those guys had cigars in the movies. I always thought it was pretty cool, but nobody around me smoked cigars, and nobody introduced me to the cigar, you know, lifestyle. But when I met this, you know, gentleman who had a large collection of cigars, a lot of them were Cuban cigars. So he said, "Hey, pick one." I picked a nice looking. I picked based on what it looked like. So it was a nice uh, Cuban cigar, Cohiba, and we went outside. He showed me how to cut it, showed me how to light it, and showed me how to smoke it. You know what to do, the whole process, everything. We went through the entire, you know, process of smoking cigars, and I, you know, from smoking my first cigar until today, I fell in love with, you know, the cigar, the leaf, and developed a passion for smoking cigars. And in 2016, fast forward, um, talked to my wife about starting my own cigar business, and she, you know, said okay, because she never really smoked one either, and I taught her about cigars. You know, after doing a lot of research on my own and finding out about it and going to different places, Nicaragua to be specific, to learn about the manufacturing process, the plant growing process, how to grow the tobacco leaf. I taught her how to smoke cigars, how to hold it, how to light it, how to cut it, punch, bead cut, all of that. So she developed passion for it as well. So she said, okay, let's do it. So, we came up with the name CROSSWYNN Cigars, which is a combination of my family last name and her family last name. We combined it to create CROSSWYNN Cigars. And from there, it's history. We just delved into it, created the LLC, created, everything you need, t-shirts, webpage, all of that stuff. Started selling cigars. Cigar business is going great. People love the cigars. I smoke cigars almost every day. I was up to at least 5 sticks a day, but I had to come down from that because you blow through a lot of cigars if you smoke cigars today. So
yeah. And I don't look, I don't smoke weed or get high or anything like that, but I'm a lightweight. One good cigar give me a buzz. Now,
yeah.
I've sat in a sitting and talking and stuff and smoked about 3. And that's like, but let me explain something to you. It's a lot. Most people say, oh, smoking is bad. I know, I get it. But there is something about the cigar culture that has kind of drawn me in. Me and my partner Yonder to make the books and we do everything. When he took me to South Beach for my birthday. Me and another friend of ours' birthday at the same time. He says, "This is me in Miami." And I smoked so many cigars down there, my tongue tastes like wood when I came back.
Yeah.
One of the things that really got me about when you and I sat down and had a cigar, you taught me some other things. You taught me about toasting the cigar properly and making sure it's an even burn. And and all that talking, you're probably going to go right. Making sure it's an even burn. How to properly, I carry. If I go get a cigar now, I get a cup because that was a purposeful thing too. You taught me with that. But it's funny that in the midst of it, you said someone in Saudi Arabia who was probably royalty or what have you took you and taught you a process. And y'all probably, that first meeting, y'all probably were there for what, 2 hours?
Yeah, it's about a good 2 hours to smoke it. Yep.
Yeah, so that's another thing. You have to have, I think it's a part of the culture and stuff like that because you have to have time.
Yeah.
You have to have time to sit down, time to enjoy it.
And that's one of the things I like about smoked cigars, and I tell everybody the same thing. When you smoke cigars, you shouldn't be in a rush. You should sit down to make sure you have the time to smoke it and enjoy. It's between you and the cigar. It's not between you and anybody else. And when I smoke cigars, I'm not smoking to impress other people. That's my time to just relax and just enjoy and be at one with the tobacco leaf. And whatever, if I'm sipping a beverage, I sip that beverage, and that beverage pairs well with the cigars that I'm smoking.
Exactly. And all right, speaking on the beverage tip, this is about cigars, sips, and socials. Now, I take it CROSSWYNN Cigars came along first. How did you get the idea to start your own beverage, your own hard seltzer, K7 Island Rum Punch?
That idea came after talking to my mom about it, because she originated the original formula for Island Rum Punch. So that was developed in 1985. And throughout that time, she made it for a lot of the house parties that she would be invited to with her friends. So she created that and then continued to make it where, anytime she was invited to a house party, she would make it and bring it to the house party. And her friends would love it. Fast forward to 2018, 2019, where I started talking to her about, making rum punch. And she conveyed the recipe to me. And I took that information and learned how to make it on my own. And from there, after making it several times, I got good at it. So I saw that the seltzer craze is coming around, and a lot of people are into seltzer. And I said, why not? I had an epiphany. I said, why not make rum punch into a hard seltzer? So I started investigating and researching and looking for a co-packer, what they call it in the industry, someone that can take my recipe and meld it with seltzer and created K7 Island Rum Punch. And from there, worked on getting my trademark and my patent for the product and the logo. Worked on the logo, I got that done, and then creating the overall recipe for the product. So the recipe is finished and packaging is finished. Now we're in the process of getting a distribution network set up, which that is done basically. Now I just need to get it out to everybody in the world.
K7 Island Rum Punch. So in the midst of it, did you ever think that you'd be, like I said, if this cuts off, I'll merge them together and do what we need to do. But did you ever think that you would be forging a part of a lifestyle? Because what I've realized is that this is a big deal lifestyle thing. There are places, there are cigar lounges, and now cigar bars and cigar bar lounge restaurants that are opening up. You probably noticed it. It's from when you first started till now. How long have you been in Los Angeles now?
I've been in Los Angeles since 2015. So what, 2022 now?
So 2015, just think about that. 2015, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know about State Social House, but Drove wasn't around. LA Premier Cigars weren't around. And there's about 4 or 5 other cigar lounges that have opened just since actually 6. Yeah, most of them opened 2016.
Yeah.
And so what do you think is the push for the big? And another thing I've noticed, because like you talked about training your wife in this area and y'all coming together in business, I've noticed how many women are getting involved with the alcohol side as far as producing, not just drinking. People know people drink and smoke all the time, but the fact that these people are producing their own products now or opening their own spots. Yeah. What do you think is the big push now? That why is that becoming so prevalent, or was it always prevalent? We just getting older.
I think part of it is people of color want their own. They want their own, culture to be represented, their own, lifestyle, but also they want to enjoy the things that they enjoy, the cigar, the alcohol, the music, all in one spot with their friends and their family. And also for me personally, it's a legacy thing. I want to build something that I can pass on to my, children and my grandchildren to say, hey, I wasn't just here hanging out and just doing the regular 9 to 5. I created something from scratch and I built it up to be a profitable business that I can leave to you and you can run it and, work for yourself. So I think those things are part of why we as a Black people are creating our own, because nowadays we're more entrepreneur minded. Right. I don't know if you're seeing a lot of the YouTube videos of people, doing drop shipping and things like that. We're looking at that as we don't have to work our normal 9 to 5 jobs anymore. Right. We can create our own lanes and our own slower streams of income for ourselves by using our normal things that we do. For instance, me, making my own rum punch. Well, there's nobody out there making it, and it's something that my friends enjoy. Why not turn it into a business?
Exactly.
Because that's what I thought about. If my friends like this, I could turn this into a business, and pretty much people beyond my reach, beyond my zip code, my area code, would really enjoy it because it's really good, and it's a social drink, and you can enjoy it with many other things. You can enjoy it with a cigar. and you can enjoy whatever other thing you smoke. You can enjoy it with it as well.
That's right. That's right. And we'll be there'll be a lot more events around the nation and looking to do some things in Jamaica. So stay tuned for that. But also here in LA, still have the Beach Bash Barbecue coming up, a big launch for K7. And tell people before we get out of here for this first portion, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Well, you can get in touch with me on Instagram at Island Rum Punch. It's on Instagram. Or you can email me at ian.farquharson, ian.farquharson at islandrumpunch.com. That's my direct email. You can just email me, and I will definitely respond. Same thing with CROSSWYNN Cigars. CROSSWYNN Cigars on Instagram, CROSSWYNN Cigars, and it will pop up. There's two of them. There's CROSSWYNN Cigars and CROSSWYNN Cigars 1. Either one of those will get to me as well.
We talked a little bit about cigar culture, but something in particular that I want to hit on when we talk about the business thing. We've had business meetings at cigar lounges. I know you've had different business meetings. That meeting might have been a business meeting when you first got introduced to cigars, but in Los Angeles or when you're traveling or something like that, what do you look for in a cigar lounge that, one, makes it comfortable, two, makes it conducive to like having a meeting? Because every place isn't the same.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing I look for is the seating area for the entire lounge. How comfortable is it? I also look at the overall atmosphere, ambiance of the lounge. Spacing is very important. Do you have enough, seating where people can sit side by side and have a conversation, to make sure that, the overall tone of the meeting is good and people are not overhearing your conversation or anything like that. You can have a good conversation about business. I know for a fact that, some lounges, they play music. That's the other thing you got to be aware of. If they play music that's loud, you can't have a meeting in there.
Right.
So it has to be a lounge that, one, it's not loud and you can sit there and have a decent conversation without yelling. I've been in some lounges where the music is so loud that, you can't have a meeting in there. You just go in there to smoke, have a drink, and that's it.
Right.
But there's some lounges you can go into that, there's some in like, Beverly Hills, Drobes is one of them. You can actually have a meeting in there and, you don't have to yell. Also, if they have private rooms, there's some lounges that have a private room. Drobes has a private room where you can go into and it's just you and that person in there. You can have, a conversation about business, about numbers, whatever, and no one else would overhear your conversation. So those are the things that I'm looking for when I walk into a lounge to, do a business or talk about business, and you can have a good conversation in there. You were telling
me a lot about the type of leaves, like when you went to Nicaragua and you got a chance to see the different leaves and taste, feel, and the smell of a leaf, how it burns, all those things, the different types of leaves, and what makes a heavier, thicker, more robust cigar versus a mild. Give us a little bit of that, like what you learned about that.
Well, what I learned about the different types of leaf is that, in the growing regions of Nicaragua, Esteli is one of the better growing regions. If you look at where a lot of the cigars are manufactured from Nicaragua, it's called Esteli, Nicaragua. So the leaves that you want to use are, broadleaf that have matured in the sun, and then from there they pick them and hang them in a barn. So there's three phases of the cigar. There's the filler binder, and then the other part is the wrapper. So different leaves are used for different parts of the cigar. My cigars use whole leaf tobacco. We don't use chopped up tobacco to make my cigars. And as you can tell right here, you know, this is a great cigar. So you can see how it's wrapped. So this is the outside of the wrapper. Can't really see the filler at all because it's wrapped up inside the cigar. You have to basically use a razor blade to open it up.
Mm-hmm.
So those cigars are made in an environment where you use 3 different types of tobacco to make it, the cigar. And when you smoke it, you can actually taste the flavor. Some of those flavors that you see are like additives flavors, like there's a little nutmeg spice to it, a little salt and pepper, things like that. Those are things that when the leaves are being aged, when they're sitting on the pilon, and they would add in some salt and pepper, add a little bit of flavor and spice to it. So as it's aging prior to the wrapping process, so when you get the cigar, when you light it, you taste all of those flavors that have been, added to the product.
Nice. So I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you mentioned about go back a little bit. I'm glad you mentioned about the atmosphere, because maybe the person who's listening that wants to be introduced to cigar, because there's never a time that I've been to any of the lounges that they're so laid out now. They're so plush. They're so according to what you want. Some people want to go somewhere where they can party and smoke. Some people want to go somewhere like a Drope, where you can kind of sit down and be like, you know what I'm saying? You sit in the chair at Drope. I mean, I went there at 6 o'clock one night and he was like cutting off stuff. I was like, what's going on? It was like, it's 10. I was like, oh yeah, all right, y'all, nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Like it's 10, Troy. So the atmosphere has a lot to do with it. And the breakdown of what you just explained with the cigars explain a lot more about the essence of it, the taste. It's like experience. It's you go in a humidor and you're looking around, and especially if a lot of these places, for those who don't know, if you don't have a membership, usually you get a couple cigars up to $20, $25 or so, and you can indulge. You can sit down, you can smoke, you can chill. But going into the humidor for the first time, you're like, but it's good to have people like yourself, like other people who work there, who can tell you the different flavor, because it's really all about, it's like wine.
Yeah. And cigars, it's not just what you see on the outside of the wrapper and also the band that's on it. Most people fall in love with what the band says on the outside. I look beyond that. There's some bands that are out, and also even the price. Some bands that I see with price is very, very high. It's not really a good cigar.
Right.
Not. People think that, a misnomer is that the higher the price, the better the cigar. No, that's not true. Sometimes the cheaper cigars are some of the better cigars that you can buy. So it's all about taste, because once you cut that cigar and you introduce flame to it and you start smoking it, all the different types of types of tobacco that are involved in making that cigar, they start melding together. So like when you put spice on meat.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say, it's a slow cooker, baby. It's a slow cooker.
The slower you smoke a cigar, the more opportunity for you to taste the different flavors that are involved in a cigar. And cigars can change from the first third, second third, and the last third of cigar. The flavors can change dramatically. So it just depends on your palate and what you're used to, and if you can taste those different those flavor enhancements inside the cigar. For me, I've smoked for so long, I can taste nutmeg. I can taste spices, different spices that are within the makeup of a cigar, and pretty much tell you what's in it.
Yeah.
I don't smoke flavor cigars because that they mess up my palate. It messed up. I've had to really start all over when I indulged in those flavored cigars, because there's so much flavor that has been introduced to them. It's no longer a cigar anymore. It's more like a cigarillo, or it's like you're smoking a Black and Mild.
You know what's so funny about that? And initially, I was kind of like, okay, when I got introduced to cigars, it was about the flavor. It was somebody had a soft pack with the great flavor, and he opened it up and kind of wrote, and then it was some other stuff. And then it was the dip cigar. And one of the guys at the joint, I think you told me too, he's like, Troy, if you want to add flavor to your cigar, just dip it in your cognac. There you go.
Yeah.
He said,
And that's the original ideal way of introducing flavor to your cigar. And if you have a glass of wine or something that pairs well with cigar, you can even do it with tequila. You
right.
basically take the cigar and you dip it into tequila, not immerse it or drown it.
Right, you're just doing the tip. You're just giving yourself
some flavor. Dip it in there, and you added flavor to it, and it's still a cigar. You just added whatever flavor content that's in that beverage. It's now on your cigar, and you can enjoy that with the cigar. So now those two flavors, or those many flavors that are now combining together to create an enjoying, flavorful cigar smoking experience.
Right. I want to jump to K7, because when I first got introduced to you and we started talking about K7, which was so funny, is we met at a cigar lounge. We met at Drove. And I mentioned Drove because, well, I'm going to be interviewing the cats down there for the mag as well, for Sheen as well. But when you told me that you had the cigars, I was like, oh my God, well, this pair, it just made sense. But the whole vibe of K7 Island Rum Punch, I love that you talk about the history. I love that you talk about your mom's recipe. I love that you talk about how you move it forward. But every time I think about it, I'm excited about the launch. I'm excited about what we're looking to do with the Beach Bash barbecue. But what's the vibe? Because it's a little bit different. We're in LA, so people love hard seltzers. They take hard seltzers to the beach in their cooler. But this, what we're doing with the launch here and things like that, what's the energy that you want people to have if they're experiencing K7? Because a lot of times people don't know that most marketing folks and most people have an idea for their, like a lot of the tequilas that are coming out now, it doesn't even seem like they really want you to mix them. When you talk about your Casamigos and you talk about your Terramana and some of these other tequilas, they're like, hey, they're trying to make them more sipping tequilas. They don't mind people mixing them, but they're like, hey, it stands alone. But what is it about K7 that you want people to get when they have an experience with it?
Well, the thing I want people to get with K7 is it's ready to drink, of course, right. If you want to do it that way. But you can also mix it with, wine. You can mix it with pineapple juice. You can mix it with grape juice. You can mix it with lime juice. The way I like to enjoy it, it's a recipe that I created myself, just experimenting in my kitchen, is that I utilize a small can of pineapple juice wherever you want. I happen to use Dole pineapple juice, pure pineapple juice, and I pour a little bit in a glass over ice, and I squeeze a half a lime into it, or you can just buy the bottled lime juice and squeeze it in there. Just one squeeze, two squeeze, however it's basically for taste. And then from there, you pour in the K7 Island Rum Punch over, and have a bartender's mixing spoon, and you stir it. And once you stir it, it's ready to go. You can sip it. It's really good. When that flavor hits your taste bud, it's like, wow, this is great, because it livens up your taste buds and makes you, in your brain, you feel like it's a party.
Right. Anytime anybody that's into rum punch, you more than likely was introduced to somebody's rum punch recipe at about, on social media. You see now all these people at these resorts, they're doing their own punch. It's like, what are they doing? It's got this one guy, he had this whole sink and he's pouring everything in it. All these people are doing is they're the ideas of the concoctions of rum punch. But
Yeah.
you said your mom had a recipe. There's something different about when people do things in the island. For one, they're not rushing. You know, so the fact that your mom had a recipe, and I'm not gonna ask the secret sauce.
It's
But
trademark.
right. You know what I'm saying? It's trademark now, so you can say whatever. You know? It's different. Well, you know, when we learn about recipes, you can give somebody the recipe, but you got to mix it right.
Yeah.
And the certain love, you probably, and even though your mom gave you the recipe, it probably still don't taste like mom's.
No, it doesn't. She's actually come out and visited me in LA after I made it. I gave it to her, and she's like, "It doesn't taste like mine." So
It's not.
even though, yeah, you're right. Even though I have the recipe, I make it. It's all about the ingredients.
Right.
So if you're using different ingredients, it won't taste the same.
Right.
So
Freshness. You know,
I try to be
coming from the island.
consistent. Yeah, I try to be consistent with the ingredients that I use, so I can get as close to her rum punch as possible. And so far, you know, she said it's not as good as hers, but it's close. And that
That's
for
good.
me,
That's all
that's a compliment. That's a compliment.
Right. You get close to your mama's recipe in anything, you're doing good. You're doing good.
Oh yeah.
So what's the next thing that I mean, we talk all the time, but the people don't know. What's the next thing? We're going into 2023, not to date this, but we're going into 2023, 2024. What's the next thing that you look forward to indulging in the entrepreneur side of things? I know you still work some contracts and some different things you do in business, but on the entrepreneur side of things, what's the next thing you're really looking forward to?
Well, the most immediate thing that I want to do is finish up getting K7 rum punch mass manufactured. So I have a mass manufacturer that I'm going to use. I have distribution locked up. The next thing is to get it launched. I have, you know, a great team behind me now that's going to help me get it out there. I have several. My strategy really is to get it into the bars. By getting into the bars and the cigar lounges, I'm touching the people that will appreciate the product, but also they will patronize the product and then look for it on, you know, look to order it from the, you know, Safeways or the Ralph stores that I can get it into. But also the goal for me too is to get it into Amazon and get it on Amazon so they can order it directly from Amazon and deliver it to their home.
Nice.
I've also finished up with getting the packaging done. So the packaging is finished. I'm going to be using a great company called PackTech for the packaging. So that is awesome. I'm excited about that. So then the next thing is to get it out there and get it into every location, everywhere that I can, you know, get it into. And then from there, I want to hire a sales team to go out and, you know, sign contracts and, you know, get distribution going there too. So part of having a great distribution network is that wherever my sales team can get agreements to, you know, from customers to buy the product, I can deliver nationwide. So that's what I'm really working towards. And then once I get that solidified and going, I'm going to introduce at least maybe 4 to 5, maybe even 6 different flavors of K7 rum punch. So that's the next step that I'm working on is getting flavors added to the product line. And then after that, I want to shoot commercials. I already have some commercials done. I found a guy that can do commercials. So that's done. I'm going to contact Hulu and work with them to get, I've got 3 commercials done so far and a lot of still photos that I'm going to put out on social media once I get the manufacturing done and get it, you know, delivered to the distribution warehouse that I'm using. I'm going to get those commercials done and get them out so we can, you know, create the buzz and create points of sale for Island Rum Punch.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So you have the rum punch, you have the K7 Island Rum Punch, you have CROSSWYNN Cigars, and we're helping people get more into a flow of not just your lifestyle. Some people don't have a chance to live on the West Coast or live in the island. But we're trying to set up your experience, and it's about lifestyle, it's about experience, and something that fits for the adult. I love the fact that we're making it cool for adults to sit back and enjoy a lifestyle that doesn't have to be so hectic.
Yeah.
And to set up your own rest and to set up your own area. Some people don't, if you don't drink or anything like that's cool. But for those that do, you can actually have something set up where it's not about getting bent and twisted, but you actually have a nice cocktail and a nice cigar, and the relaxation and the conversation doesn't have to stop. So thank you for all that you're indulging into the community, all that you're pouring in.
Oh yeah.
It's lifestyle community. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. And then one other thing that a passion that I want to do is get into is I want to, with this is like a totally different side project, is, create a lifestyle brand through fashion as well. But it's going to also, the clothing is going to include K7 Island Rum Punch, but that's a website that I'm working on, and it'll be launching pretty soon as well, where people not only can they get, the product, they can also get clothing as well for K7 Island Rum Punch. And it's going to be, bright, energetic, exciting clothing that you can wear on the beach, around town, running errands, or even flying somewhere on vacation. You can wear K7 Island Rum Punch clothing, and when you get there, people are like, yeah, you're coming to have a good time, because the clothing you wear is telling them you're coming there for a good time. So that's something that's coming as well. So we're gonna have the beverages, but also the clothing as well.
Right. It's like the Polo or the Ralph Lauren of the industry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you again, Ian.
You're welcome, Troy. Thank you very much. Peace.
The January-February 2023 issue of Sheen magazine is out now. Be sure to go to your favorite magazine stand and pick up your copy. This beautiful double cover issue. And check out the new article by Troy L. Rawlings, Cigars, Sips, and Socials. Cigars, Sips, and Socials features trend-setting entrepreneurs in the adult beverage and cigar industry. Ian Farquharson, the owner of K7 Island Rum Punch and CROSSWYNN Cigars. JAKIM Stewart and Ryan Taylor, proprietors of Drobe Stokies. And Pam Miles, owner of Miles Select Vodka and Jerome Renee Cigars. Fierce and fabulous, the ultimate in beauty. Pick up your copy of Sheen magazine. Get your copy today.